tried to say that shit to me.
Self-suffocation.
Or like,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
his throat would close, or
Something of a more brutal nature than a hiccup.
some other guy would stick their dick in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Something like that, you know?
Yeah, just spitballing.
Hiccups just seemed real innocent for the waitress who's getting, like, sexually assaulted.
On the regular, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. A hiccup seems like a pretty innocent get back, but I mean, if that's what's going to bring her joy,
Yeah.
Zedd is all about that.
All right, man.
She's pouring his tea, and he's like, all right, look, you bring him his drink, and when you do, look him dead in the eyes, just like I'm doing to you, which is a little creepy, but I guess he got his point across. And that will weave a spell so that he'll hiccup when he tries to say the dirty shit to her. But she won't remember that this happened. It'll just happen. And then she kind of goes, wait, what were you saying?
Yeah.
If it were me, I would have repeated the whole damn thing back to her before I realized that was my intent in the first place, and then I didn't need to repeat myself.
God damn it, you weren't listening, Julie.
Right. What's the matter with you? I told you for the 4th time, you're going to forget. Oh. Okay.
I was staring right in your eyes.
I told you in no uncertain terms. Oh. After giving her the creepy eyes, Zedd asks her if she knows of anybody who they can hire to bring them the rest of the way because, again, fuck walking.
Yeah.
And she points out a few guys and then moves to the next table. This is the guy who is the ass grabber.
Oscar!
Yeah, Oscar. When she gets to Oscar, right, she does what Zedd says. So he's like, visual confirmation, my shit worked. Okay. And then Oscar goes to say something back, and he hiccups, score, but then also bubbles come out of his mouth.
Which I would be thrilled with.
Yeah, we're like, well, that's just fucking frosting on the cake, isn't it? But Zedd's confused, because he's like, that wasn't me.
That wasn't part of the plan.
Would you start looking around the room like, okay, is there another wizard in here? Is somebody fucking with me?
I don't know. I feel like I would just be worried about the bubbles smelling when they pop and just making sure they didn't come near me.
Oh, God. Yeah, that might be really bad. Really bad. Might have to take Julie up on her offer of that lager. You know, get rid of the smell and the taste and such.
Yeah. I probably would have from the beginning, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I think you're trying to allude to the beer break, right?
Why, yes, I am.
Cool, because I'm ready.
All right. Well, tonight, actually this morning, happy Monday, y'all. We have S'mores Yeti from the Great Divide. It's an imperial stout brewed with chocolate, marshmallow, and spices. Now, we've had s'more beers before. I think the last one we had was a bourbon barrel aged s'more from Perrin.
Damn, you're a pretty good memory.
Might that have been?
Yeah, it might have been.
I feel pretty confident about that.
I feel like I probably liked that, but I don't normally grab the s'more stuff.
Right. Well, it's a hard flavor to attain because a s'more is like a few flavors.
Oh, the
mixed together.
Self-s'morantine.
Yeah, self-s'morantine.
Yeah.
Nailed it. I knew it. But these guys did a really good job with it. I am impressed. That tastes like a s'more. Well, like a beer s'more. But then again, I like the flavor of beer, so that helps.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like there is... Does it say spice on there? Did you say something about spice?
Yeah. It's not spicy.
Right.
It's just...
Spices.
Spices, right.
Yeah, you can taste them, too.
Yeah, well, I think that helps along, like, the graham cracker and some of the chocolate.
Yeah, it's good. You should drink it by a fire in your basement. Really, any time of day. Nobody can judge you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just kidding. Be responsible with your drinking, and we'll be back right after this.
And we are back. And as it happens, so is Julie.
Aw.
Yeah. She comes back with the information, or at least a lead, on somebody Zedd might be able to hire. And she points out this smelly man who, kind of like him, is like sitting off alone by himself, and also wants tea.
Another one of the non-drinkers of the room.
Right.
Who is the only one that Zedd approaches.
Right, which we mentioned at the top of this show. I thought it was really interesting that the two guys who... no alcohol, please and thanks, I'll just drink tea, are the two guys who sit and have this, not overly complicated, but like, they're haggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, they have their wits about them, and they're conducting business here, which you probably shouldn't be drunk doing business, but this is not the same situation as comes to mind when I say drunk doing business. Like, obviously, you shouldn't be drunk at work, but...
I think it depends on your business, right? Sometimes a little bit of alcohol can help grease the wheels. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's true.
I work with pets, so you definitely cannot be drunk. I don't drink at work.
Yeah, pets and needles. And I run machinery, so I can't also be drunk at work.
Just letting everybody know, like, I don't, but like, a good work lunch is great.
The irony is that when they hear us on this podcast, we've been drinking in almost every episode, at least for the beer break for sure. When we record those, we have the beer with us. So we're not actually drunk all the time, just when we do this.
Right.
Just wanted to point that out.
Only when we podcast.
Yeah. We have very real livers. And they have limits. Anyways. So Zedd grabs his teapot and he heads over. He introduces himself and he finds out that this guy's name is Ahern. He sits down and he offers this guy. And throughout the conversation, it happens a few times. At first, Ahern is very reluctant to accept the tea. And then as it goes, he just like puts his cup on the table a little further towards the center, towards Zedd, to like give him the hint, yeah, refill me again, dude. And I thought that was interesting. They do get comfortable with each other over the course of this conversation, but the tea going back and forth is like, it's a detail that had my attention, and I don't know why, because it was a silly one.
Eventually, they are having a damn tea party.
Right. Well. So Zedd asks him if he's already working, and he says he is, but he tries to find out if he can tempt him to take on a little bit more work. Obviously, Zedd has a need. We're not going into this blind.
And we know he can just, like, make money, so not a problem.
Right. Now, Ahern hauls iron around Kelton to the smiths who make all those badass weapons we heard so much about. That's what this guy does. That's got to be a hard job with a horse and a cart and, like, iron.
You know what else we heard so much about?
Oh, yeah. That's not the only thing Keltons are famous for.
Yeah. They make other stuff.
Yes, they do make a lot of other stuff.
No wonder this guy's so smelly.
I wonder if that was a callback. It's like, actually, he doesn't smell like horse shit. He just smells like shit. That's because...
Oh, he's a Kelton.
Yeah.
Okay. It all makes sense now.
Fucking Keltons.
Fucking Keltons.
Oh. So Zedd probes Ahern a bit, just asking about the work, which is none of his fucking business.
No.
Like, other than what do you do for a living? I'm a driver. Oh, okay, cool. You don't ask. Not typically. Like, oh, what do you move? Like, oh, what do you drive? People? Crops? Drugs? What's going on? I'm just saying, you ask that question to the wrong person, and it could lead to some trouble.
Yeah. But he also asks about how he handles his horses and, like, how his team is. And it does seem that he has the same philosophy that Richard does, because he doesn't use his whip too much. Like, Zedd's like, oh yeah, I figured you knew how to use this. And he points at the whip, and the dude's like, yeah, but, like, not as much as other fucking people, because I want my horses to listen and not be afraid.
Yeah, he doesn't use the whip to, like, actually hit the horse. He just uses it to get their attention. Now, I build bull whips and snake whips, kind of like as a hobby. And I've also hurt myself, not severely, I'd say, but well enough with one of them that I definitely know to respect these things. I'm not 100% sure what a horsewhip is. But it takes a certain skill to get that thing to extend up and out of the way, as opposed to just forward or down on the ground is the easiest one. I can really get it to crack when I go straight down, like more like a 45-degree angle. But so a Hearn has to be pretty skilled with this thing if he's able to get it to go up in the air every time without accidentally hitting one of his animals. I mean, could you imagine if they're not used to that sort of treatment and then you do accidentally get one in its butt? Fucking hang on, dude. Those hurt.
And, I do think that maybe he does, like, every once in a while, like, to remind, like, if they get way out of line, kind of like with your children. Like, I don't hit my kids, but there's a certain level of punishment if they get too out of line.
Hard stare. Yeah, sometimes you do have to correct your kids, but, I mean, as far as spankings go, they don't have to be excessive. You know what I mean? It's way better to teach them a lesson and have them learn something. Like, hey, next time, no spanking necessary. You know what I mean? Like, teach it with kindness instead of fear. And that's the point he's trying to make here. If they're just fucking afraid, they're probably going to hurt you.
100%. Like, with my kids, I use words most of the time. We use words most of the time. If my kids mouthed off in a certain way, like, and they wouldn't knock it off, I'd probably bop them a little bit. Like, not hard, but like a little bit. But I don't have to do that ever because I don't do that ever.
Right.
But I feel like that's the same way with the horses. Like, he's not too heavy-handed with it. Like, if he does have to use it, it's in an extreme circumstance just to remind them that he has it.
So, Ahern asks about Zedd, and Reuben, I like the quotes there. Reuben spins a beautifully inspirational tale about an orchard farmer from Westland who raised himself up from nothing, struggling all the while, only to no success after many grueling, hungry years at the bottom. Now he has the best fruit in all of the land, in the world, in fact, just so you know. And people helping to cultivate it. Ahern kind of calls him out, and he's like, oh, no, you mean you own shit and other people work.
Yeah.
And Zedd, although this is a made-up story, still doesn't want to come across as a dick. So he's like, no, I work too, so it's all good. No, you don't.
He's like, I came up from the bottom, okay? I was hungry, and now I ain't hungry no more.
Yeah, he gets all the... Well, Westland, yeah, so apples are fine. I was going to say he gets all the apples he wants.
That's right. He does not say apples, though. He says
no
fruit.
Just fruit. Leave it vague, Not too many details.
That's right. So he then keeps going into why they are in Midlands now, because if they're from Westland and he has tons of money, why the fuck is he here? It's because he and Adie are old, they want to visit their family in their hometowns, and Adie got sick on the way to Aidendrill, so they had to change course and head to Nicobarese to find healers for her. Which I felt was honestly a shitty cover for why they were crossing the Rangshada Mountains in the first place before going to Nicobarese. Like, if you were in Westland, there's absolutely no goddamn reason you would go to your family before her family.
Oh, no, it's literally on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get he had to think fast, and he was like, oh, no, we were on the way, whatever, but, like, you should have just been from the Midlands, bud. You made a mistake. That's okay. It's okay.
Went a little too extreme in one direction.
Yeah.
Of course, he pulls it out, and Ahern... He doesn't really question anymore. He's just like, hey, your route's fucky. And Zedd plays it off perfectly. He's like, well, I mean, can you back time up? I made a mistake. Nah, we are here now, and we need to go where we need to go. So, shall we? And Ahern's not going to argue about that, but he is more than happy to argue about where they want to go. Yeah,
because it's winter, and that's going to be dangerous as fuck to go back over the mountains that way. We have to cross the mountains, like, twice now to